Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I need to make a fabric covered hardback book from scratch. And I decided that I would just turn on the camera and film this process because I think I mentioned in another video I have these 3 signatures that I have put together for a journal. I really like the papers. I like the feel of it. Very 1930s country or rural feel. Kind of like, grandma's house. Yeah. So they were put together some time ago, really, these signatures, and I need a cover to fit them. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have measured the board. I have a book board. Actually, you can buy this. I buy it at Hobby Lobby in great big sheets, like, oh, I don't know, 3 feet by 5 feet, something like that. It's enormous. And then I cut it down. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm hoarse today, but I hope you can be patient with that. So I have 2 boards cut and ready to go. I have chosen the outside fabric. It's this very pretty, I don't know, it was a scrap of something. I'm not sure what it was, but it's like not quite upholstery weight, but more like it's a decorative fabric, probably for pillows or something like that. And I'm not sure where I got it, probably the thrift store. But it's just very neutral, and so I can do something with it when I get it ready. So I have the fabric cut to size, and then I have the 2 outside boards, and now I need to make a spine. I also have papers for the inside covers when we get that to that step. So that's kind of what you need. You need the book board, you need fabric, this is a piece of a cereal box and a little piece of a file folder. That's what I'm going to make this spine out of. And then I have a little piece of Tyvek to reinforce the spine. And I have a piece of very starched neutral fabric to go over the spine on the inside when we're ready for that step. So you can see it's very stiff, and that's so that I can glue it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, we'll move this over. And by the way, when I'm ready to do that, I measure the fabric and then I starch it with this heavy finish, just spray starch. Okay, so you have probably seen this done by others. There's plenty of tutorials online for making a fabric covered book journal. So don't just take my word for it. You can go see how other people do it too, but this is the way I do it. So we want to, I am going to use for the outside glue, I'm going to use this Elmer's Craft Bond. It's like tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue. You can use that. You could use Fabri-Tac, but that's kind of expensive for this. You could also use matte gel medium. I'm just going to use this Craft Bond. So what I'm going to do first is I'll do one cover, and since this is a nice edge over here, I'm going to use that as kind of my starting base. So I am just going to put, this glue is kind of thick. I'm going to spread it on, and then I will paint it and make sure that it's smooth and not gloppy. So let me make sure that it's run down here, and here we go. I'm just going to plenty on there. If the fabric is thin, you might want to use a piece of iron-on interfacing over the whole piece so that the glue doesn't just, soak through to the other side. All right, let me take my paintbrush now, and this is just a paintbrush. I am just going to throw it away when I'm through. I don't want to have to worry about washing glue out of this. Okay, now I'm going to turn that over. And put it down like so. Now that's kind of come through. We'll see. You can thin the glue if you don't want to take a chance of it coming through. I'm going to see if it will just dry clear, and hopefully it won't be a problem. If it is a problem, then I will deal with it some other way. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing on this one. I'm going to get a little bit of I'm going to get a baby wipe and just make sure that there's nothing coming through. Sorry for shaking the camera. I can feel a little glue on the, okay. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I might not put quite as much glue. Oh, here we go. Open it up. I don't know how much is in there. I hope there's enough. Okay. Okay, now what I need to do is put my spine down, and I need to space. This is a spacer. It's just both of these glued together because that's how far I want the gap to be. So we'll put the spine there, and then we'll hold it, put the spine or the spacer there, and then flip that over. And put that down. Make sure this is even down here and it's even there at the top. Yep. Okay. turn it over and smooth it out. Great. This is good so far. Okay. All right, now to make the spine, this is what I do. I want it to be a little bit of a rounded spine, you know, and so I'm going to score this. Just so that I can round it just a little bit. I'm going to score it first, and then I'm going to glue a second piece of cardboard on it as well. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my thumb and just kind of curve that. Just put just a little bit of a curve. I don't really want to bend those. I just kind of want to put a little bit of shape in it. So if you have a small glue bottle, you know, you could mold it around that, or just, you know, work it kind of with your fingers like I'm doing. Okay, when I get that fixed, then I will now use fabric tack because it will dry quick. And I'm just going to put some glue. On there. And now I will fit this one on. And let that dry for a minute, and then when it's dry, then it will kind of keep that shape. So you can see how those little scores just kind of curve it. Without really bending it. There's a crease there, but that'll be okay. Okay, so we're going to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll glue that down as well. Okay, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do to the outside, but probably something like maybe a patchwork patch, and it'll be a collage of some kind, but maybe a fabric collage with some lace, and yeah, I'm not sure. But that'll be fun to think about for the next several days. All right, I think that's probably ready now. So now we'll put some glue on this. Stick it down. And again, I'll use my spacer. Get it lined up here at the bottom. And at the top, make sure it's spaced on both sides. And glue it down. Good. Great. Oh dear, that's kind of gloppy. I don't like that. As I say, but it's on the spine and the strings will cover it, so I'm not too worried. I hope that it will dry better than that. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see that it's distorting now because of the fluid glue, the liquid glue, but that's okay because we're going to put more liquid glue on when we put these papers on, and that's going to balance it. Yeah, so okay, now the next step, and I'm just going to continue to use Fabri-Tac for this part. The next step is to miter the corners. So we're going to cut off at the corners, but we're going to leave just a little bit of space there. Hopefully, oh, looks like maybe I didn't leave quite enough on that one. So you want to have, you know, enough so that when it folds over, it will form, you know, a nice tucked in corner. So we'll just leave a little space there. Okay. Now we do the top and the bottom first, and then we do the sides. That's the way I do it anyway. So I'm going to put some glue along the edge. And then here. And then this is the way I do it. I tip it up and then smash it down. And then I come back and pull it down with my fingers. I want to get that glued well. You see that along there, those need to be pinched and glued. So you can use your spacer, you can use the bone folder, whatever you've got. Just make sure that gets glued well. Good. Okay, we'll flip it up and do the other side. Plenty in the corners there, and then do the same thing. Tip it up and push it down. Looking good. Okay, and now the sides. Now, when I do the sides, then I will be sure to get glue in this corner bit. This one is good. You can see that there's a little bit here that's gonna catch and fold over. This first one I didn't leave enough. So that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have to use metal corners on this or some other, I don't know. We'll see. That's one of the mistakes. It's easy to make. So watch that you don't do that. It's a little easier to see it with paper. With fabric, it's a little harder. Okay, now, in order to turn this corner, then you want to kind of push that and make that stick first, that corner. And then flip it over. Okay. Yep, so this bottom one looks good. Even that one, that's okay, thankfully. Yeah, you can see that smoothed down just fine. But this is what you're going for, is just that little bit of a fold right there. But still, that's not too bad. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to put some glue right in that bit and in the one down here. Okay, and then we're going to pinch that and hold that down. Can you see that? I'm going to pinch it and hold that first. So that grabs first. And then let's get some glue on here. And then we pick it up and fold it down. Yep, great. That turned out really well. I'll show you as soon as I can get it fixed here. There, see? There you go. You've got that little bit of a fold right there. That's good. And again, here you've got that little bit of a fold and then the miter. Yeah, it's perfect. Oh, I don't think that got there. Here we go. A little bit of a fold and then the miter. And there's the little bit of a fold and then the miter. Yeah, hope you can see that. That's good. Okay, all right. So there we have that. That looks good. Let me put that lid on. Clean off my fingers a little bit. Clean off this. Okay, so there's the basic outside cover. Now we need to put the end papers on and reinforce this. Whoops, good grief. Reinforce the spine. All right, let's do the Tyvek first. I'm going to trim that down just a little bit. All right. So this is just a recycled envelope from the post office. oh, I'm trying to think, priority mail envelope. And my husband gets them occasionally with stuff from his work, and so he knows now to save them for me. I'm going to put this over there. Okay, and the key to getting a nice spine is to make sure that the edges here are glued well. Not so much this one, but the ones up against that book board. So, you know, you can use the bone folder and make sure that has a really good adhesion on that side. And the same over here. Make sure that's really glued down nicely up against this side of the board. Okay, so now on this side, we're going to do the same thing and make sure that that's got a nice, that it's glued really well along that side. Okay, so now you can see that spine is beginning to form there. It's missing some glue right there. Can you see that? Yeah, so you want to make sure that you get the glue right there in that, I'm just going to try to cut that a little. Yeah, to squeeze a little bit of glue in there. Because that's what's going to form that nice channel, so you can see some bubbles in there. If you have plenty of glue, and usually I do the whole thing with the white fluid glue, then that'll make a really nice channel for that spine. Okay, now let's go on to the inside cover, and I need to decide whether I want the paper to come over the top of the fabric or to have the fabric come over the paper. Usually when I finish the inside, I just do the fabric last. But this time, if I want, I could put the paper all the way over the edge. I'm trying to think. I think we'll do the fabric on top. I don't know. Maybe that's just what I'm used to. Okay, so now, I want to use the other glue so that it will be weighted the same Actually, no, because that's going to make it bubble. Yeah. Well, I can show you how to do it so that it won't bubble. Hopefully. I will need a lot of glue. We'll hope. We'll hope this works. One of the reasons why it's nice to use Fabri-Tac is because it doesn't bubble, it doesn't warp, you know, the paper. But if you get the glue smooth, then this is actually a better for it, I think, especially because it's the same weight as the glue that I used on the outside. And so it will, it'll weight the board. The board will warp with the same. So let me just take the paintbrush and smooth that. The problem with air bubbles, you know, is because there's air in between the space when you put the glue on. All right. Now let me get on my tiptoes and make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so now we'll just take a card and scrape it. And hopefully that will push glue into all the spaces that didn't have it. And make it even underneath there. Okay, and you'll notice that I have covered, whoops, I always stick that out of the frame. Turning the corner there. Yeah, all right. And then the other side. This is a little bit of a long video. Sorry about that. This process just takes, you know, time. And I don't know how to speed it up. I need to get an editing program for my phone because I film on my phone and it's an Android. So if you know of a good editing program, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to try to learn, you know, better how to edit videos and or speed it up. You know, it'd be nice if I could speed it up during some of this stuff. So if you're good at that and can help me out, I'd appreciate a comment. Okay, and now let's smooth this now. Okay, isn't she pretty? I think she's really pretty. Okay, from the middle to the out. Whoops, that slid. Let's slide it back. And take the card. There. Nice. Let me take this Fabri-Tac and glue that little piece down. All right. Okay, now that's done. That looks good. Edges are good. The corners are good. Okay, and then now that, see, that is now the same amount of glue on this side as was on this side, and so the board is going to warp the same distance in both directions, which will mean it will remain flat, hopefully. Especially if I take it and dry it under some weight. Okay, so now I can just use Fabri-Tac and glue this down, and the cover will be done. The basic cover will be done. So when I starch this, then that makes it act a little more like paper. So yeah, I can manipulate it a little easier. Make sure that it's the same on both sides. It's not. I need to move this over. There. It's still shorter on the back than on the front, but as long as it's even this way, that's okay. Okay, now we make sure again that we've got that really nicely glued edge along here. And the same on this side. Just that little fringe there at the top. That's okay. I don't mind that. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's it. That's done. Now I will go and put weight on it and let that wet glue dry under some weight, and then I'll be ready to decorate. So there's a cover made for this, for these signatures. That's going to be great. Yeah, like it. Thanks for spending time with me. I hope that was helpful. And we'll see you again.